This is Appetite for Distortion.
Time to die!
And welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion. My name is Brando, episode 52. Although, after our conversation off the air, Mr. Squires, it should have been 53 and me.
53 and me.
Well, we were talking about 23 and me off the air, and I always have to awkwardly and shittily segue into my guest for the day, or slash my also my co-host. So, Mike Squires in studio, right in front of my face.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a 20-minute cab ride for me. It's easy peasy.
Your Uber driver finally showed up?
Yeah. I had to go get myself some snacks. I had to go get myself some dried mangoes.
Dried mangoes?
It's the beef jerky of L.A., I heard.
I've never been there, so I have no idea.
I mean, it could be the beef jerky of your home.
It could be, I guess.
You just have to want it bad enough.
Now this is getting uncomfortable right away, and I like it. I keep looking at your face, and I'm really disappointed that you don't have the mustache. You had a glorious mustache.
Yeah, and maybe I'll bring it back. I'm thinking about bringing the hair back. My wife harasses me about the hair, so I'm gonna grow the hair. And
What? She wants you to have long hair?
My wife wants me to have long hair. Yeah.
I mean, it's not short.
No, but when we first met, I had hair.
Long, luxurious hair.
Yeah, luxurious, mysterious Fabio type hair.
I got it. Yeah, you're a tattooed Fabio. I can see it.
Steve Jones in his glory days hair.
Right on. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, mustache or not, it's really cool for you to come down.
Thanks for having me.
For you to be here and be part of episode 52 of the AFD show. I don't know how that I've done 52 episodes, hundreds of hours of talking about GNR and just talking to really cool people.
That's amazing.
So since you're in studio, you're going to be part of like this first segment that I do before we start talking to you and finding out more about what's going on. And of course, Duff's Loaded and Brooklyn and all that fun stuff.
Rad. You're gonna rattle off some GNR news?
Yes, but before that, I guess
can you make some stuff up and then I'll guess if it's true or false? Real news or fake news?
Axel and Slash are getting married.
True.
Okay. Well, actually, because you said rad, by the way, which is our key word. It's our Pee-wee word. First, we had Brain on.
Uh-huh.
It's rad.
He said rad all the time. And you may be familiar with the first voice in this.
That's pretty radical.
So Duff, that was Duff and Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. So rad it continues to be the theme of this show. But so yeah, this is good. This segment is called News. You like that?
All right, I do like it.
I have a mental illness, so I need sound bites to keep that at bay.
It's all right. It's all right. Give me a heads up next time so I don't get whiplash.
Sorry, did that scare the crap out of you? Well, I am going to play a little soundbite here because this is part of Shotgun News. Steven Adler, he just did a Facebook Live the other day, and it was announced that Adler's Appetite is coming back. And our part of Shotgun News is always to thank our last guest, which was Alex Grassi, and he was the one that announced the new Adler's Appetite dates. But he booked those shows. He's not in the band anymore, and he won't tell me who's in the band now. I forgot he was going to tell me off the air, off the record, and I forgot to ask them. But apparently, there's going to be some revamped Adler's Appetite. So I just want to play this clip from Steven's Facebook Live, and I think it's also his manager talking, but you'll know who's who.
Thank you so much for everything. I'll see you out in Australia real soon.
Yo, he's got some crazy project coming out. We're not saying who the singer is. We're not saying anything till we hit the stage at the Whiskey on May 10th. And then
you're definitely going to be surprised about the new singer. It's wonderful. You're going to totally dig this guy. And you know him.
You know the guy. One of the greatest singers ever, this guy.
I'm intrigued.
I'll give you $100 out of my pocket if it's Brian Johnson.
Wouldn't that be something?
I have to say that the odds of that are pretty slim.
Yeah, but that would be a little island of misfit toys. Hey, I'm obviously saying this in hyperbole. Oh, you're not good enough for AC/DC anymore. You're not good enough for GNR anymore. Okay, we'll start our own band. That would be, wow, okay. I doubt that too, but that would be really funny.
I thought that was a funny tie-in. Yeah, little tie-in.
No, I like that. I do like that because it has been out there. There will be new Axel DC. So I don't know if that's going to happen first, because we have mentioned in previous episodes that Todd Kearns and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, they are going to do a new record. Yes, Miles has put out a solo record, but I believe after GNR does some dates in the summer, they're going to get back together and do some stuff.
Oh, rad.
So, yeah, that actually kind of leads into talking to you a little bit.
Oh.
So,
what do you want to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about, because people were asking, well, the segue is, as far as when I interviewed Todd Kearns, ask him if there's going to be more Slash and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirator records. So when I said I was going to interview you, are there going to be more Duff Loaded records? So we'll get to that a little bit, I guess a little teaser, because I want to know more about you, Mr. Do you go by Squires, or do you go by Mike? Do you MS? What do you go by?
Squires is like the informal form of my name.
Right.
It's
That's fine. I mean, because you just said,
yeah, I like Squires.
Okay, then I'll do that.
We all know a lot of Mikes.
This is true, but some
we
know.
know a lot of Mikes.
I know, but some people prefer that, I guess, because you just, when I answer the phone, hey, it's Squires. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was that formal to be like, hey, I can call you Michael. I didn't do that.
Some people do. Some people call me Michael. Mostly my sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm one of your sisters.
No.
All right. So Squires it is.
But
I'll
maybe
do that.
you're my half brother.
Yes, we have to figure that out, because you did 23andMe, and you are learning more about yourself, things that you didn't know. So, like, what are you, first of all? Where did you grow up, and what did you think you were?
Oh.
And then, like, let's go what you think you were. So, where did you grow up, by the way? So, because I know I have to stay focused.
I was born in Concord, California.
Okay.
My family is from Long Island. My father's family, my mother's family is from California.
Wait, where in Long Island?
Levittown, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Was my first White Castle experience. I'm from Long Island.
Yeah.
I grew up in Baldwin, which isn't too far from Levittown.
So I have family here.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. So about like 15, 20 years ago, when my grandmother was still alive, she told me once, in sort of like a fit, well, your older brother. And I was like, whoa, back it up, Grandma. Let's talk about this older brother stuff. And she's like, oh, yeah.
Why? Because you were an only child? Or you thought you were an only child?
Yeah. I thought I was my father's only child. So apparently I have this older half brother, right?
Oh, wow.
That was conceived out of wedlock, and which is that's all fine and good with me, except that the gal that my dad was partnered up with right there, she was married.
Oh.
So I don't know if this kid or this guy now, I mean, if he's around and alive, he's a full-grown man. He's older than me. I don't know if he grew up thinking that someone else was his father. So I never hired a PI to go.
Because you can ruin his life.
Yeah. And, as much as I would love to meet this person, I don't need to meet him bad enough to crush his reality.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to crush his reality. But then this 23andMe stuff came along.
Okay.
And
this is the Jenny Jones portion of the AFD show, by the way.
Yeah. Hello. So I figure if this guy, like slim chance, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe Brian Johnson's my half-brother.
You never know.
Hey. Just to tie it back in. So if this guy signs up for 23andMe for whatever reason, he's opening himself up to it. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. And
you're counting on that. And, see, I have 3 younger brothers, so maybe if I had like another brother somewhere, I'm like, oh, I already have. I'm good.
Yeah.
But if you grew up as an only child, I don't know. You could have missed out on playing catch and.
Well, I have 2 older sisters. They threw plenty of insults my way.
Okay.
Not really. I love my sisters.
Right on.
Having older siblings,
Okay. So you're I don't, because I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
All right. So
pretty interesting.
So don't take any anger out towards your sisters at me at being the oldest.
I'm gonna trash this place.
So you grew up in California, right? And so when did you?
I moved to rural Washington
Oh, okay.
when I was in grade school still. So I consider myself to be from Granite Falls, Washington.
Okay. All
Still,
right.
to this day.
So what kind of kid were you? Were you a
What do you mean?
nerd? Were you, a jock? Because you're a pretty big dude.
I mean,
Like, what were you,
I played some sports. I never like excelled at sports really. I could do them. I was better than some kids, and definitely not as good as other kids. And it just wasn't really my thing. I never got so excited about it. I never collected sports cards or
Sure.
or followed the stats.
Okay.
And I didn't do that stuff. I was always into music.
Okay.
I had a notebook when I was in grade, before I even moved to Washington, when I was in second, third grade. I had a notebook, one of those spiral bound notebooks that was full of AC/DC lyrics.
Nice.
So AC/DC probably my all-time favorite band.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Do you remember the first time you heard them? Like did your parents get you into music?
I had an uncle that was 10 years older than me, and he was
Oh, that's pretty close.
he was into cool rock music.
That's kind of like a brother in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He introduced me to a lot of cool music and bought me my first guitar.
Okay.
So because he played drums, and we would go out into we lived in a trailer, and then we had another little trailer behind the trailer that we would go play in.
Okay.
This is rural living, you understand.
We got to thank Uncle Squires then. Okay.
So
I'm picturing you like Sean Hunter in Boy Meets World in the trailers right now.
I don't know what that
That
is.
reference is you're older than me.
I don't know. What is that?
Boy Meets World? You remember that show?
I don't know.
I'll edit this out. No, I won't. I'll leave it in there to make it awkward. There'll be some people who get my reference. Every time someone lives in Topanga Canyon, I get excited because there's a character named Topanga. Oh. But all this is lost on you, so it's all pointless.
Yeah. So Granite Falls.
Okay.
Yeah. I had I don't remember the first time, but I do still have an actual photograph, developed photograph that I took of Play-Doh action figures that I made of AC/DC when I was a little kid.
You made little Play-Dohs of them?
Little Play-Doh action figures, yeah.
I like that. That's cool. I mean, you made the guitar? Or like, how did you... They can't look good. I'm sorry. They can't look good if you're making like Play-Doh people.
Oh, I mean, you can tell they're people. You can. Okay. I mean, they have guitars. There's a drum set.
Okay.
I made a backdrop out of a piece of wood and used markers.
Okay.
It's on. I'm sure it's on my Facebook and stuff like that. You can look at it.
All right. I'm just being because I'm trying to think of like when I used to do. Maybe I was just a dumb kid. The only thing I could make with Play-Doh were just
balls and cigars,
balls and cigars, penises.
And then you put those things together.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a ball and dick. So what does that say about me? I guess. All right.
But yeah, I mean, to give you a point of reference, right next to the action figures are my Choose Your Own Adventure books. So I must have been in third grade.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think that same year, my school picture, I'm in an Aerosmith tour shirt.
Nice.
So I've always loved the rock music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because around the third grade, I collected cards, as you mentioned. Is into sports, but I still liked rock. I think because I'm slightly younger than you. Green Day. I was obsessed with Michael Jackson as a kid, which sounds weird, but you think you understand it. But I wasn't into music until later on in life. So it's just cool to find out that you were into it at the beginning. Did you know when you bought your first when your uncle got you your first guitar, was it like a hobby, or did you when you saw Brian Johnson or when you saw Angus Young, I guess, oh hey, that's who I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew right away?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I used to tell my mom when I grow up I'm going to be a doctor and a rocker. Sorry, Mom, I let you down.
Not too late to get in a PhD or MD in something.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Yeah, I was just trying to be. I was being supportive.
That's the thing about rock.
Yeah. Wait, there are people that went back. I mean, Duff went back, and he got his degree.
He's not a doctor.
Oh,
that's a lot. That's a lot of studying.
It's still getting his education. So there's the tie-in there.
What do they say? How many hours you have to put into something before you become an expert?
I don't know. I feel like I've heard that phrase, but I don't remember the actual amount of
there's like a
hours.
whole book. Let's just say it's 5,000 hours. Let's just say that.
Sure, sounds good.
You will probably get some hate mail for this, but let's say 5,000 hours to become an expert.
Okay.
What do you suppose? What are you an expert on? Surely you've put 5,000 hours into something other than going number 2 and watching baseball.
I agree. Now, the word expert is, I mean, unless you're the, R.I.P. Stephen Hawking, I mean, the word expert is kind of lost its meaning, or genius, or, original, or game changer, or all these things have just like, it's enough already, So I do agree with that. But you could still become a more learned and well-rounded, not that you're not, person. But so it is cool, like how Duff went back, or Dexter from The Offspring, he went back.
Oh, cool!
I think he's like a marine biologist or something. Like
That's
something
amazing.
something like ridiculous. I think even Rivers Cuomo at one point did the same thing.
Right.
So.
After the second album, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
The best album.
I would love to talk to Rivers. He's a big GNR fan.
Duff. I talked to Duff the other day. He played with the
AWOL Nation.
Yeah, and he said that Rivers was going to play. Do you know? I don't know.
I probably should know.
I don't pay enough attention to stuff.
I do. I mean, I should pay more because I have a quote show. But I don't know. I've smoked a lot of weed in my life, and I think everything, like my brain cells are just dead. Hugs, not drugs, kids. I'm currently sober completely. But no, I mean, I think the most recent Weezer album and their single was a tribute to Paradise City.
Really?
Like even like dressing up, and it wasn't like a mocking. It was just like a tribute, and it was just really cool. So I don't know. And Rivers seems like a funny dude. I would love to talk to him. Anyway, that's another time. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Squires.
You know what?
Chicken butt. What?
You know why?
Chicken pie.
Cow pie.
Cow pie.
Chicken pie.
Cow pie.
Chicken pot pie.
I think I was caught off guard that you actually got it.
Yeah.
Speaking of third grade jokes.
What else is going on with the news? Is that it?
What, with GNR news?
We didn't even speculate any more into who could be this singer.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. To even speculate. I couldn't even. I'm like who would he get a name that everybody knows that is going to tour the world with Adler's Appetite? That's a big claim. It is a big thing, but I'm just like, who doesn't have a gig that would do that? Is it you?
That's why I'm on the show here. Here to make the big Papa announcement. You don't want to hear me sing.
No, I know.
You certainly don't want to hear me sing up high like that.
No. So I really wish I don't know. I might have given like a hint or something if Alex Grassi told me off the air. I had like a respect. I would have been like, hey, maybe it's in this ballpark. But I can't even like Jizzy Pearl. I mean, like who's out there that would I really don't know. Do you have an opinion?
Do I have an opinion? So it's
on who it may be.
It's Adler's Appetite. It's not Adler.
It's supposed to be completely revamped. That's what Alex said. Because Alex used to be in the band, and it's supposed to be like a new band, like a new thing. And he's like, it may not even be Adler's Appetite. So he did say that. Huh. But I think in the meantime, because people know who Adler's Appetite was, that's what it's being billed as. Because our friends on London Hudson and Nico Sangaris from Classless Act, Slash's son London, they're one of the openers for that. And it's being billed as Adler's Appetite at the Whiskey. So I don't know. I'm in the dark. I'm definitely not an insider, as some people may think that I am.
Yeah.
So that was my long-winded way of saying I have no fucking idea.
Me too. Me too.
I'm glad we can establish these hard-hitting news, these breaking news. No,
breaking news. Yeah. We don't know anything.
No, the GNR news segment is just like, if anything,
What else? What else? Is there anything other juicy stuff?
Juicy stuff? Well,
come on.
Well, you said to me in an email, you're like, hey, you like to talk shit. And I'm like, I hope he really doesn't think that, because I don't want to be like the website or podcast that talks quote unquote shit.
Talking shit doesn't necessarily mean talking trash to me. Just talking a bunch of shit.
Okay, yeah, no, that's what I did. That's why I was like, I don't know him yet. I'm not going to be right back to you. Well, not shit like that, sir.
Ooh, yeah.
None of that is allowed.
I think talking shit is one thing. Talking shit about people is another thing. Talking shit about people, not cool, unless they really have it coming. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, I mean that has happened on this show.
Some people have it coming.
Oh, absolutely. No, they do. I mean, there are some, people, if they pick up my podcast and my article, and if they don't, link, they just kind of just quote this the interview I did with no credit. That pisses me off. That I'll call them out. Things of that nature. I think there was one listener that I did call out because he didn't like my sound effects.
Oh, Axel.
That's from Friday the 13th, Part 4. I was just watching it, and there's a character named Axel.
Axel, you are the Super Bowl of self-abuse.
So I got mad. And
wait a minute. Do you use the one from? Do you use any Axel Foley reference, like any sound bites?
I don't have it in my soundboard, but I did put it in the last episode with. Was it with Alex? It might have been, but I know I have made an Axel Foley reference on this show with the clip.
There's the one where he's in the art gallery and he's like Axel, and he's
yes,
Axel,
yeah.
Mr. Ahmed Foley is here to see Axel Foley. Axel. Achwell, Axel.
That's the clip that I played. Bronson Pinchot from Perfect Strangers, Belky.
So good.
Do you know that reference?
Yeah.
Okay, at least we got something going.
Woo.
So, because we're on iTunes and all 5-star reviews, but this guy gave me a 1-star review because of the sound bites. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
So you can't say 5-star, all 5-star reviews. You have one.
No, he changed it because I wasn't trying to like Jew guilt him, and I say that if you don't know, I am a Jew, so I can say Jew guilt and not have it be anti-Semitic. Then again, people get offended by anything these days. No, because he's like, I like your podcast, but all these sound bites and all that. I'm like, I don't know. I get bored if it's just sometimes a conversation, or sometimes the sound bites add to it, or yes, sometimes it is a chemical imbalance and I do it overkill. Fine. So I had just mentioned, if you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't like things that I do, that's fine. But why give it 1 star? Because that's only going to prevent people from finding us and getting more interviews and bigger people, which is only going to benefit the listeners.
Sure.
So he actually ended up fixing it and putting us 5 stars. So I didn't expect to. I just really didn't expect that.
It's a very diplomatic approach.
I try to be diplomatic. I really do, because I have anger problems. That's why I identify with Axel. I have fucking anger problems. So that's why I'm actually weaned myself off Cymbalta. Now I'm back on Cymbalta because I found myself getting angry again. I'm very open about mental health too.
Is that a psychedelic drug? I don't know what that is.
No, that's an antidepressant.
Oh, I see.
Antidepressant, anti-anxiety. Yeah.
Serious
stuff here
I'm
sometimes.
I'm of the opinion that what other people think about me, not my business.
Because you probably come from, this guy goes into the 23andMe thing. Everything is going to tie in together. Because you said that you are part Jewish, right?
Yeah.
Or you think that you are?
Well, the thing came back and said you're, almost 11% Jewish.
But like where, because Jewish is a religion, technically. Yeah.
Sure.
Because, I mean, yes, I use it. I mean, yeah, I was bar mitzvah and all that crap. I'm the worst Jew ever. But it's become a culture.
Right.
I like Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, it's that kind of a culture. So, like, where, for me, mainly Polish. I'm mainly Polish.
Right.
So, what did it say? You said Jewish?
Let's just look. Well, no, let's see.
And you have to send your spit? Is that how 23andMe works?
Yeah, you spit in this thing, right? And then you send it in, and
you
then
buy dinner first?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let me see.
Because the point being, it's just the way I've been raised, and I love,
Right.
my mom and my dad, who has since passed. They raised me great, but it's just they have the neuroses, the stereotypical Jew, and just some stereotypes are true. And again, my chemical imbalance feeds into it. So it's been years of therapy for me not to be like to care what everyone else thinks. I'm pretty good now. Some of it, yes, some of it I do for a comedic effect, but it's always going to be an ongoing battle. So that's why I do talk about mental health. But I wouldn't be able to do this show if I was actually in a bad place. But
like I said,
so I don't.
What other people think of me, not my business.
So that's great. I wish I had that mindset. I really do.
Look at this. Here, I'll just give it to you. Look at that.
Okay, so you are 72%, 72.6 Northwestern Europe. So where's the? Oh, I can't even read what this says. Oh my God, Ashkenazi. I'm really bad at this. Ashkenazi.
I guess so.
ASHKEN. Well, actually, hold on. I missed the obvious thing because the last 4 letters are Nazi.
Right.
So it kind of says you're Nazi Jewish. So it's Ashkenazi Jewish.
I don't think that's how you say it, though.
I'm saying it like that because that's how it makes me feel right now. So Ashkenazi Jewish. If someone wants to, send me the actual pronunciation of that, I don't know what that means.
I don't know, too.
Well, you have some Nazi and some Jewish in you, as far as what I can tell.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Hey, no, I'm the bald one here, so. So no, that is very interesting.
That's super weird.
Okay, so maybe we're related somehow. Not you and Brian Johnson, but you and I maybe go way back.
My family's from Long Island, apparently.
I know. So there you go. We all know each other.
Check it out. I had a great grandmother with the last name Boscher.
Boscher, okay, no Boscher in my family.
And then my grandmother's side was Ferrasi.
Ferrasi. Oh, I thought you were about to say Finkelstein. I was about to flip out because that's like my grandmother's maiden name. I was like, oh my God, are we gonna find it? Maybe I was like, maybe I'm your half brother.
I'm going to family reunion.
I thought like there really is a split second. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking weird. Well, no, that's yeah. So that's cool that you're like that. So it seems like to go back to when you were a kid.
That I'm like what?
A confident person. A confident person like that. A Nazi. No, a confident person. So growing up in 3rd grade, now we're kind of going back there. I know we skip around, but we do try to find that linear path of
I chugged
conversation.
some coffee before, so I'm along for the jagged storyline.
It's all good. And thank you for offering, by the way, but I had my Red Bull. I don't know what it is. And by the way, he's drinking water, if you can hear the sound effects.
This episode brought to you by water.
If anyone wants to sponsor whatever that water is, welcome. So you were at the time a non-Jewish kid growing up in Washington. Rock and roll, AC/DC. You seem to be a confident kid.
No, I was a real quiet. I was a pretty quiet kid. I was social. I moved a lot when I was young. Okay. I think I went to 12 different grade schools.
Oh my God.
My mom I don't think she was a very reliable employee, so she not great at being able to keep a gig, and so we moved around a lot, and then finally landed up in Washington for most of middle school and the end of grade school on, with the exception of being in California for 1 year, when I sort of like really embraced metal at a golden era of thrash metal. It's like 84 in the East Bay. So well, I say East Bay, I was in Concord.
Kill 'Em All came out in 83.
Dude, I mean, at that time, Ride the Lightning was the newest Metallica album. And, it was that. It was Hell Awaits. It was, what else were the big ones? Fistful of Metal.
Okay.
So
you became more of AC/DC, at some point in time, they may have been considered metal. I consider them hard rock, classic rock, whatever. But did you find yourself going more towards the metal route at that point?
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What else? Metallica.
Because 83 I was born, so I do know about like dinosaurs and the Civil War and things before then, but I'm just... Yeah.
Okay. So, the coffee's really kicking in now. I don't even remember what we're talking about.
What made you gravitate towards the metal? The metal.
Well, it was just, that's what was happening, I showed up down there.
Was it the music too? Was it the look? Because we're talking about long hair too.
No, I grew my hair out when I was a kid, and I've had long hair a couple times as an adult. but this, I'm not dyeing my hair black or
Don't. Yeah, please don't.
I'm not, I don't wear
Eyeliner.
I don't wear eyeliner. I don't have a vest with a thing on.
Yeah,
I don't have a uniform really. I kind of look like just a dude.
You look like a
dude who's a dude doing the dude.
You look like a more in shape rock and roll John. I'm gonna say John Connor, Dan Connor from Roseanne. So obviously,
I don't know who Dan Connor is.
John Goodman.
Oh.
Again, more lean, but it's
just barely.
No, you're good because you have a nice full head of hair. You're wearing the flannel. I'm glad I didn't wear my flannel today because I'm always the same way. And that would have been weird. And I don't know. You're all tattooed up. I mean, you have a nice hair. You're not. It's like not doing the eyeliner. Not trying to fight aging.
This is not going to translate to the radio, to the podcast. But I'm going to let you get close to my forehead for a moment.
Okay.
Let's not make this too awkward.
Okay.
But the running joke at my house is I do not have a receding hairline.
No.
I have a proceeding hairline. Do you see these hairs that are like?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
You should sell those to people.
How much do you think I could get for them? I'm unemployed right now. Do you think I could sell them on eBay?
You know what? There may be a point in time where you can do that. Because I know, in seriousness, I know there's lots of love. People have done a lot of that. You grow your hair and cut it off. And actually, I'm going to admit something now. All right? So, and it kind of ties into Axl a little bit. So I'm taking off my hat right now, and I'm completely bald, right?
Yeah.
So I just shaved my head the other day. I fought for years because I had long hair also. My running joke was I'm Axl Rosenberg. And this is before I knew there was a guy on Metal Sucks named Axl Rosenberg. It was me. It was a Jew joke to me.
Yeah.
I had never heard it before. But linear thinking, whatever, that's another thing. And me being handicapped, I wish I didn't, include in the body of my email. I walk with a cane.
Not important.
I know. But at the time, I thought it was important. Early 20s, because I started losing my hair in my early 20s. So, and I didn't have a cane at the time, but I do have leg braces. I can walk without them. But when you're in your early 20s, it's also high school and college. And as we acknowledge, I'm Jew, so the self-loathing is already there. So I started losing my hair, and I started getting really, really depressed about it. And I didn't have a beard at the time because I kept thinking people are going to think I'm sick. Because there were people go up to me and thinking there was something wrong with me.
Right.
So, and I have no proof, and this is the GNR tie-in, but this is what I believe, that Axl did something, and I do not fault him. But obviously, if you see the scar in the back of my head, I had hair transplant, and I fought the good fight for a long time.
Did you really?
Yeah, I actually had 2 hair transplants. I've never admitted that out loud.
You were really going for it.
I was really, really depressed about losing my hair, and again, because I'm my view of myself was I'm withering away. Again with not to get that was I'm not like that now. That's why I shave my head. I don't give a shit anymore.
I'm so glad we're digging in deep right now. Listen, let's talk about this.
So whenever people would make fun of Axl, and that happened with. Was it Jesse from the, I almost said the Pigeons of Shit Metal, which is what Axl called them, the Eagles of Death Metal. Mm-hmm. When they were kicked off tour with Axl, Jesse said Axl's completely bald on top. He just puts on something. And I have zero proof, but I'm obsessed with looking at celebrities and people who are losing their hair, and that's what I did for the longest time. Obviously Nicolas Cage and Jeremy Piven, or I know every actor who's done something. I can absolutely tell because I'm obsessed with it. So with Axl, I know,
amazing.
I know.
I love that. I love what we're doing right now.
This is what the show. This is talking shit. So with Axl, I really kept my eye. I'm like, okay, why would a grown man do the braids? And I did whatever I could to hide it. As well. If you see those commercials for Topic, the shit that you the salt and pepper thing you do in your hair.
I don't know.
Oh, there are commercials for that. I did that for a while. So you never know if someone's doing something like that in addition to, and will he take off his hat? This is meaningless. This is all meaningless stuff and nobody cares. But unless you're in, unless, like, again, if you're a blabbermouth commentator, or in 2018, if you don't look like how you did in your 20s, you're made fun of. You know, you're ugly or aging or whatever. Oh, it's disgusting the way people are. And I mean, even like I notice, and I don't care, but like when I've seen Slash with his top hat off, he has like receding. I mean, again, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, guess what? Dude's almost 60.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Yeah, that's what happens to it's. And guess what? Everyone that's talking shit, that shit's gonna happen to you too.
I know. Well,
unless you die young.
Or I mean, there are some very lucky people. Like look at Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. I mean, I believe that it looks like they're real hair, but Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, no way, no way. And I believe now, because when I finally like, you know what, I guess I can't keep doing this. It's affecting my relationships with women. Like it's doing all this stuff. So I shaved it, and I already had a beard. Fucking, it's the best thing I ever did in my life.
So why is it? So tell me about the process, because that's a fairly substantial scar, and that's fucking crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
tell me.
This is what you could do if you want to. So and I went to, and if you want to sponsor my show, Bosley, and fix this, do it. They will take a strip in the back of your head, right? And they're not really like cutting into your like head, but they're taking like a strip of your skin that has the hair off it, because they're keeping the root of the hair.
Yeah.
And they're just chopping it up, and then they'll poke like a bunch of holes in the top of your head, and they kind of just plant it in there like a seed. Yeah, and
it works.
I mean, it looks like I have like a good hairline, correct?
Yeah.
So I think it did work to a respect, but it was still really thin, and I just didn't want to. I'm like, I don't want to look like a person with thin hair or constantly hide it. So I mean, shaving it was, even with the scar, I mean, girls love it. So it's like I wasted so many years of insecurity on this.
If my hair started to fall out, I would shave my head. I just don't care enough.
Which is great. But again, for me, in my view, and we talked about depression, and that's why I got into GNR and all that stuff. And that's why I identify with Axl. I'm like, oh my God, he's so angry. I'm like, what is he doing with his hair? You know, all these things. And again, I have zero proof. Even if someone, like with my eye, and I look at celebrities who are losing their hair, and I can tell, you know, but I guess I can't tell with him. You know,
here's the amazing thing. My wife should be here, because my wife is in the fashion industry.
Okay.
And we'll be watching a movie, or we'll see someone on the street, and she will say the same thing you say, like, I can't believe that wig, or I can't believe this or that. And 99 out of 100 times, I will be completely fooled. I just don't care about that stuff.
It says a lot about you. You're a good person. For me, I was just like, I was so, again, just more judgmental of myself. And but now, I love how we're talking about hair. So if you want a scar in the back of your head, which you can still cover up, because the scar, you couldn't see the scars, because when I shaved my head, everyone's like, oh, you shaved your head. I thought people were going to say, oh, it's about time.
Right.
No one said that. So I was like, I guess I hit it really well, other than, you know, I'm the one getting in the shower and I see it. So I still don't know how Donald Trump gets up every day with that fucking thing. You know, and oh, by the way, the people who's like, oh, stick to Guns N' Roses, and, you know, whenever you mention Trump, look at Axl's Twitter feed. I mean, it's all fucking related. Or, I mean, I wish I had the confidence of a Del James. Del James used to have a glorious hair, and he shaved his head, and he's fine. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Do you think Trump has fake hair, or he's just balding and he's got an amazing comb over?
It's a combination of all of it.
Can't tell.
It's a combination of all of it.
Really?
There was a recent video that was maybe like a few weeks ago. He's going up on Air Force One, and it's this giant gust of wind.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it was like a squirrel's nest that came like to the side. So what I think he's doing is he's doing a comb over, and what I did as well. And you really spray a lot of, you know, hairspray to keep it in place. And he may use some of that Topic stuff or some like makeup to kind of hide the scalp. So I think he does all of that. I don't know. I don't think he has a piece. I think he's hiding everything really well with the comb overs and the hairspray and Topic or whatever else he's using. See, this shit I think about, I fucking hate it.
Why doesn't he just settle out of court with this hairline and call it good?
I don't know. I don't know. And this is just now. It's just funny that we got into this because I really have always been obsessed also with Axl's hair.
Yeah.
When I had hair, and that's why I grew it long. I always had like the typical, since you don't get the reference, but the that I made before the Ryder Strong Sean Hunter, the typical '90s haircut where it's just parted in the middle, and it's kind of like. So I had that, but then when I got really into Guns N' Roses, I'm like, I looked at Axl. I'm like, I want to be him. I want to look like him.
Right.
And I screw my hair down to my shoulders, and just when I started losing it, I guess I couldn't handle it. And just watching like Axl, and again when he came back with the braids, and again how some people mimic the people that they look up to, so it wouldn't bother. Now I look at David Lee Roth. He did it.
Yeah.
He has a piece now, but he has shown his shaved head. He has done it.
Let me tell you a quick story.
Please, it's your show. I mean, I was way too much about me admitting this. So
when I had long hair, when my hair was at its longest with Loaded, I can't believe we are fucking talking about hair this much.
I know all of our listeners will be like, let's talk about Loaded. And
like,
Matt, we will get there. But
well, that guy was a worthless guest.
Not at all.
Here's what happened. I would just wear my hair tied back in like a samurai. This is pre-top knot, pre-man bun.
Yeah, when I had long hair, I did the samurai thing too.
2009. I would tie my hair back and wear it in like a ponytail at the back of my head, not at the butt, not like a 1968 style, And I would only ever, I pride myself in bathing at least, maybe once a day.
Okay.
But not big on washing my hair. I wash my hair once every couple weeks, whether I need it or not.
Okay.
Okay? And whether I need it or not. And so I only would, take the rubber band out of my hair when I would play on stage.
Okay.
So what happened was we were playing somewhere in the UK. And I'm on stage, and we're playing. We're in like the second or third song, and I realized, something felt weird. Something felt off to me. And it was the second or third song. I realized, oh, my fucking hair is tied up. So I had to, it just was such an awkward situation for me in particular, to walk back to my amp. Mm-hmm. Take the fucking rubber band out of my hair. Shake my hair out like some Fabio moment. And I was just humiliated.
Why? That seems like a normal thing. So why? Because it just came off like...
It just felt like an act of vanity. Like I was shaking my hair like like I'm Christy Brinkley in Vacation or something.
Sure. Okay.
And so the next day I shaved my head.
Oh, wow. Okay. Just because you wanted to be so unvain?
I was just like, well, that was... I just felt stupid. I was like, well, that was stupid. And that's what the vanity of hair will do for you.
Yeah.
So
no, it is...
The next day, we were in Nottingham, and I walked down. I found the first place, and I was like, shave it all off. And the guy was like, nah, man. And I was like, what are you talking about?
No.
Yeah, he wasn't going to do it.
Because your hair was too beautiful?
He was like, no, you are too beautiful.
Too sexy.
No, he was like, are you sure? It just seems like it took a long time. I was like, don't care. You're a barber, right?
Yeah.
Cut my hair, please. I'll pay you money.
Right on.
That's how this works.
It's funny because, hair really is a big thing in the rock world. It really is, especially with a lot of the bands from the 80s and even 90s still trying to hold on to it. And the people, some of the bands doing the circuit now, that it's just like, that looked cool when you were 20, but you're like 60, and it's just like, I don't know, man. You should really just look like a normal 60-year-old guy playing the song, and I would like it. You don't need to look like, and I don't want to
right.
The
second best hair story that I have.
The second best hair story?
Is the second best hair story that I have.
I love this.
Well, so when I left Granite Falls, I joined the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
And
and you spelled it right, unlike Trump. C-O-R-E, right?
That was my favorite.
Wow.
So good.
Okay.
So I joined the Marine Corps, and
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. When I got to Seattle in 1993, I showed up. I had like a...
And that was through the Marine Corps? You went to Seattle?
No.
What am I missing?
Well, I grew up in Granite Falls.
Yes.
I joined the Marine Corps straight out of high school. And then when I got out of the Marine Corps, I moved to Seattle.
Okay.
And
why Seattle?
well, that
Starbucks?
was the closest town to where I grew up. And, I probably would have moved there straight out of high school. But again, I wasn't a very confident kid. And the Marine Corps has a real way of fixing that for you.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've never been, but I know I have friends and...
They have a real way of transforming you. So I showed up to Seattle. I had I had a Jackson guitar at the time, which was very not cool to have.
Okay.
Okay. In Seattle in particular. You probably still get away with that shit in L.A. at that time.
Okay.
But in Seattle, no. I showed up with a Jackson guitar and a crate amp that had built-in chorus, and just what I really wanted to do was I really wanted to be in, Helmet.
Okay.
Or something. I wish, I was into that kind, like Helmet or Prong or.
Okay.
Jesus, I like Jesus Lizard.
Okay.
And I would answer these ads in the local newspaper, and I would show up. I'd load them into my shitty car and drive there. And there were a couple times I'd knock on the door, and then they would open the door and they'd see me there with my no hair, and my shitty guitar. And they'd just be like, no, and just close the door.
Jeez. Judging you.
It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome.
You were able to take it? You weren't like, what the fuck? What the, I can't even audition for you? It's based on my appearance?
Oh, what are you going to do?
I mean, if you were me, I would have complained to my therapist about it. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, like... Did it make you want to start your own band, or you were just looking to join someone else's?
Yeah, I didn't really have a plan, man. I just I showed up to Seattle, and I knew what I wanted to do. Oddly enough, I was like, if I don't make it by the time I'm 26, I'll be too old, and I'll just give it up and go back to school, which is ridiculous. First of all, but in my mind, in my young, naive mind, that's what I believed.
I set the age of 28 to be full-time in radio, so I told myself that as well.
Yeah.
So, I kind of understand.
So, let's see. I met some guys that had like a kind of a hippie jam band. It was a pretty kind of a jam band, but not in the way that you think. It was more like rain sticks and mystical. Yeah, it was a jam band. It was a funny jam band.
Okay.
Super nice dudes, still friends to this day. And they needed a bass player. I met them at a coffee shop. They needed a bass player. And I said, I play bass, which is a total lie. This is how you get what you want.
Fake it until you make it?
Or lie.
Or lie.
Yeah, or lie. That's a nice way of saying
yeah.
lie. Fake
Sure.
it till you make it.
Sure.
So I said, yeah, I play bass. Can I try out? My buddy Doug said, yeah, sure, man. So I called my brother-in-law, and I said, hey, can I borrow your bass? And can you show me how to play it? Because I didn't play the bass, but I played with that band for a couple years, and it ended up being probably the best thing I ever did for my guitar playing. As far as like learning how to play with drummers and
sure, makes you more well-rounded musician.
It was also the first band I ever played in, so I don't know if it meant. I don't know if it did a lot for my guitar playing to be a bass player in a band and be a part of an anchored rhythm section, or just the experience of being in a band was good for my guitar playing.
True.
Yeah. Then I played in a couple bands that didn't play any gigs or played very few gigs, and then I switched back over to guitar almost permanently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say, I guess would Loaded be your first big break? I mean, how many years between that band with your buddy Duck, which is a great name?
Duck.
You said Duck, right?
Doug.
Oh, Doug. Doug is still a good name anyway. Now you can call him Duck.
That was like 93, so then...
Because there's a lot of years in between then.
Yeah, a lot of years.
And I know this isn't like the show. This is your life, but I want to get, you know.
So I did quit playing music, and I went back to school, and I lasted 3 weeks. And I quit, and at that point, I was like, nope, this is all I want to do is play music. So then I joined a band, and we made a couple records. We didn't tour, but we did pretty well in Seattle. I met some people, played good gigs. I ended up joining that Harvey Danger band.
Yeah. Flagpole Sit-Up.
We played out on Long Island at the Paramount.
That's 15 minutes from my apartment.
Yeah.
If you want to stalk me. I don't know.
That was a fun gig too. That was a fun tour. And those guys are great guys. Those guys are friends to this day.
Cool.
And Jeff Rouse, who's also in Loaded.
Yeah.
And I were in Alien Crime Syndicate.
Okay.
After that, and then I don't know. Jeff Redding, the old drummer in Loaded, and I were acquaintances. Mm-hmm. And I ran into him a couple times, and he said, "Hey, I'm making a record with Duff McKagan," and I was pretty impressed because Guns is one of my all-time favorite bands. Mm-hmm. Appetite, changed my life, changed the way I looked at guitar, especially at that time.
Sure.
At that time, no one was doing anything like that.
No.
Even the people who were doing like rootsy kind of stuff, it was always, it just didn't have that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm doing a podcast about them.
Dude.
There are other bands, like just throwing out a name. I love Skid Row, but it's just I couldn't do a podcast about them.
Right.
So I get that.
Substantially huge impact,
Sure.
that band, and not for all the obvious reasons, but on my life too,
Okay. And had you, crossed paths with any of the members beforehand? Did you? Was this just completely?
I had met Duff before because we have mutual friends.
That's okay. That's why I'm asking. Okay.
And then he was making a record with Martin Fevier, who I'd made a couple records with.
Okay.
And apparently, they had, it was the Dark Days record.
Okay.
And Duff had a few people play on the record and play in the band and hadn't had much luck. And I called Martin up because I had mentioned it to Jeff Redding. I was like, hey, what about me? And I think he thought that I was just messing with him or that I was just trying to steal one of his girlfriends or something. And he kind of blew me off, but then I just called Martin. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe the two of them talked, and Martin said, yeah, why don't you come in and play on something? Duff wasn't there, thank God, because I probably would have been too nervous to pull it off at that point.
Okay.
And I recorded on, I don't know, maybe King of Downtown song on there. I was on a couple songs on that record. And
do you remember what you played at the audition when you just were laying down tracks so you would hear what you played?
I hadn't heard the song.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't heard any of the music.
Okay.
I brought my guitar with me.
Oh, so it wasn't just like, hey, let's jam on this. It was just
No. I went to the studio
to play a new song.
To put a guitar part on a song.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I went into the studio with Martin. It was just me and Martin, and so that was very comfortable.
Oh, that's cool. It wasn't even like an audition then. It was just like, hey, Duff, please do this.
Duff heard it, and then my phone rang, and this voice says, hey, it's Duff McKagan. And, you know, it was one of those moments where you're like, yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
And he said, hey, I like what you put on those tunes. Would you be interested in coming and playing, like jamming? I said, sure. So I learned, one thing I learned early on was if you want a gig, come prepared.
Sure.
If they say, learn these 3 songs, learn those 3 songs and anything else you can get your hands on. Because if you, listen, kids, this is how you do it. If someone says, here's, you know, if they have a catalog of music, even if it's just one record, and they say, these are the 3 songs we're auditioning people with. If you don't want the gig, don't bother wasting their time. But if you really want the gig, learn those 3 songs and then do everything in your power to learn the entire record. Learn all of it. Because if it goes well enough and you get on well enough, which is also super important, they're going to say, well, shit, that was great. Do you know anything else? And at that point, you can say, yeah, I know all your songs. Because I'm in this band now.
You want to hit the ground running. But it's funny because we mentioned Brain before, and his introduction into GNR, and he was brought in by Tommy Stinson. He's like, I know Sweet Child of Mine, I know all these things, and he just wasn't performing well. And I think Stinson gave him I'm trying to paraphrase his story, just gave him a look like, dude, you got to fucking get your shit together. He's like, I'm going to learn these songs 2 days, it's just going to be me. So he had the opposite, but I agree with you. You're because you want to be prepared, you want to hit the ground running, especially, you know, if this is, like you said, Duff, and this is someone you looked up to, and you're trying to make it as a musician, and you need your first big break, and clearly that's a break right there.
Well, dude, 3 months later, me and Jeff Rouse and Jeff Redding and Duff were in Tokyo, playing at NK Hall. Yeah. That was crazy. You know, the big curtain opens up and you look out from the stage and it looks like the gatefold cover on the inside of Kiss Alive.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was my first time playing in an arena. I'd played bigger shows than that, but that was my first time playing a full, rad, awesome arena.
Have you ever been out of the country, touring-wise, before then?
I had, yeah.
Okay. But that's still rad.
But that tour I met Dave Kushner and Joey Castillo and
Kushner's former guest.
Yeah,
good man.
Awesome dude.
You could say rad again.
Yeah,
it's funny when we did the show, I was just so excited to save it and get it up. Get the podcast up, and it sounded like I had an ED problem.
You deleted it.
I did. I did. I almost cried, but I messaged him and just apologizing for wasting his time and all. I mean, I've told this story to listeners before, but we always get new listeners. But he's like, "No, dude, what are you doing tomorrow?" And we redid the I mean, we didn't refake the conversation, but I said what happened. As you can tell, I'm way too honest. I'm like, I fucked up. Here's Dave coming back again.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. So, we'd love to talk to him again. But yeah, no, that was cool. So I mean, so you're meeting more and more people and networking. So that's great.
Yeah. So, where does that leave us?
Well, actually, let's get into some questions for you.
Fine.
Let's do that. Fine.
Fine.
This one, actually, I'm going to play a sound clip for this one too, because I was going to use it because I've interviewed fans in addition to cool ass musicians like you. I've interviewed a fan from Ireland.
Oh, you confused me with someone else.
The entire time, Squires is just you're so ridiculously humble. I understand that you're not Jimmy Page. I get it, but you're still.
What are you trying to say?
You're not old? That was a good save. But I've interviewed, one was from Ireland because it had ties into GNR, and somebody was from Croatia. So I mean, it's just different. And so I will do another fan spotlight next, but I can also tie it's my fucking show. So fan question segment. It'll be fan. I'm really stupid. All right. So first one, we're going to go to the UK. This is from Ray. He says, honestly, talking about you, honestly, one of my favorite guitar players ever on the planet. I would love to know why Okay, this is actually interesting. Okay. I would love to know why Glasgow was chosen for the Loaded Live DVD that came with the Sick record. I was there and it's still one of my all-time favorite shows that I've ever been to. Love you, Mike.
Wow. First of all, Ray, that's amazing, and what a nice thing to say. That's I just can't even imagine being in a top 100 in someone's top 100 list of guitar players.
People like you.
And so that is flattering and humbling and really nice of you to say. Let me know if you want me to Venmo you that $5 or PayPal you.
Nice.
I think there were a few reasons that Glasgow became that place. Some of them were logistic, but mostly like Glasgow is a cool rock and roll town.
Sure.
And we had been through once before with the band. I had been through as a tech once before, and it's just a rowdy rock and roll town.
We have a lot of listeners in that area, which is cool. It's just diehard.
It's a really, really cool place. The Garage.
So actually, this will lead to, speaking of cool places, this is from Francisco from Chile, actually. Goes, hey, what's the best audience in South America? Do you remember Chile? Do you still have the T-shirt I gave you?
Do I?
Haha, excellent guitar player and a better human being. So I don't know if you remember Francisco's T-shirt.
I guess I need to get back to practicing. Santiago is one of my favorite places that I've ever been. It's an amazing place, and me and Jeff Rouse, we all rented motorcycles a couple days, but Jeff and I took off and did a whole day where we rode out to the coast and then went up we went through like 4 ecosystems essentially. It was amazing, and what a beautiful country, what a beautiful place. Chile is amazing. Francisco, shit, man. I don't know what T-shirt it is. Was it a shirt? Was it a soccer jersey with my name on it?
I guess he'll respond and let us know, and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Thanks for the question. I love it there. I think it's amazing. What is the best audience in South America? I don't know, man. It's all so good.
I look at, we've talked about this with several people. I look at places like South America and compare them just to American audiences, and it's just different. They just have more passion there and more respect and love for rock and roll and metal. You know, I don't know what's wrong with the States. It's
rock and metal is it's big down there. It's awesome. It's great.
I want to go to a show down there just to be in that environment.
It's cool.
It's just every show, the Rock and Rios. I mean, I know a different area, but I mean, it just looks like a different experience, that something I've never been a part of, and you being on stage for that, I mean, I can't even imagine. So this one is not as glamorous a place as Chile. This is coming from Connecticut, no offense. So this is from Jeff from Connecticut. Here's a question. I was at the Loaded show at Mulcahy's. I don't know if he means Mulcahy's, Long Island. Maybe he did.
I'll bet he did.
Yeah, because that's near me.
Yeah.
Maybe he made the trip. The Loaded show at Mulcahy's that Bumblefoot came out and played at. This was before Duff had joined GNR on stage again, and at the time it seemed like such an odd happenstance. Nice use of the word. How did that come about?
Good vocabulary, bub. How did that come about? He had played with us a night or two before at the, what the hell is that called? The Gramercy Theater?
Sure. Yeah, right here in our city. So I guess how did that connection make? Because I didn't even know that Bumblefoot played with you guys, and I don't
know. I mean, when we were on the East Coast, Tommy was out for a show at one point too, and Duff got on stage with Guns in London. I want to say, played guitar on "Maybe You Could Be Mine" and a couple other songs. That's the cool thing about Duff is, through that whole period, if I asked him, and typically I don't ask him, if he's excited about something, he's going to tell me,
Okay.
because we're friends. But if he's not talking about it, I'm not going to bother him about it. But
What do you refer, like if he was going to rejoin the band?
or yeah, like, hey, what's going on? Are you guys going to reunite?
Okay.
You know, it's like, the cool thing about Duffy's like, I don't know, you know. All along, even back in 2000, in 1999, 2000, when I joined the band, even way back then, he'd be like, I don't know. I mean, anything is possible. We're all, you know, we're lucky. We're all still alive, you know.
What were you thinking? I mean, that's cool that you have that boundary to not even ask because some people just wouldn't care. But in your head, were you thinking, hey, this band is, you know, bigger than life, and it would be great to see this band I grew up with get back together again. But now it would come at the cost, perhaps, of your job if you were to leave.
Oh, you know.
I mean, I hate to put it that way, but I mean, it's
that's
true.
It's almost like the competitive nature of bands.
Yeah.
Where like maybe you have a band and your best friend has a band, and maybe your best friend's band gets an awesome tour. Ask yourself as a human, are you super stoked for your friend, or are you jealous and bitter that you didn't get that gig? You should be happy for anyone, whether you like them or not, if they are getting to do the thing that they've poured their life into, the thing that they're passionate about, and the thing that brings them joy. Because if you're doing what you love to do, then you're probably going to be a happier person. If you're a happy person, the world will be that much less of a stinky pile of shit.
You know, you're right, and I like your answer. It doesn't sound like it's a stock answer. It sounds like genuine. It goes along with your personality, our entire conversation, where you're happy for somebody else. But it's just something that, again, it would be a normal thought to have, regardless. You know, I'm
stoked. I mean, I'll be stoked when and if we ever get to do another thing. But for now, I'm stoked that Duff is doing what he's doing because he's having a great time.
Right on. That actually leads to another question. This is from Johan from Sweden. See, we're all over the map here. He says, do you think does he think that there will be more Loaded music in the future? I love all 3 Loaded albums. Flatline is a kick-ass song. Kick-ass in all caps.
All caps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johan. I don't know. I'm fairly certain that there will be more Loaded music. When and if that happens, I don't know. You know?
That was kind of like Todd Kearns' answer.
To quote Duff, we're all still alive. And we all, I mean, there probably hasn't been a week that's gone by in the last 10 years that I haven't talked to Duff.
That's cool. That's friends right there.
So, you know, I don't know.
You never know. I mean, I that's...
Like we're in talk while we sit on the toilet, friendship phase.
Snapchatting each other's poops?
No, not like that.
All right.
You know, like, but, you know, I can...
Not that I do that.
I'll answer the phone. If I'm playing Scrabble on the toilet and he calls, I'll answer.
Okay.
You know, if that, I wouldn't do that for everyone, because if someone hears a flush in the background, they might, you know. But once you have enough submarine experience with someone...
I like that. I like the way you put that. Okay.
Then... It's you know, you can do, you know, each other at a different level of intimacy.
Sure. No, I like that answer, and I look at it. See, I have more of an opinion or a thought process on this as opposed to like who could be the Adler's Appetite lead singer. Where when we interviewed Todd Kearns, and I don't think he knew at the time that they were going to make a new record, but that's what Miles had said, and I think after GNR gets off. But just the fact that it's out there, we're all live, we're all still talk all the time, and it seems to be the same thing with you. So, and then Axl may be doing the AC/DC thing for a bit. So it's just interesting. All these bands still may be in existence, and GNR, which I think is just amazing for the fans, because you guys, Loaded, have just a crazy fan base, and you're seeing it just with these emails all across the Facebook and Twitter and emails all across the world. And the same thing with Slash and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. And people could be angry, like, oh, you know, I wish it was Guns N' Roses again, but I don't know. When I asked Todd that, he never got that impression. You know, where's the other band? I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any of that? Where's Axel? Where's like any of...
The interesting thing is like we didn't play very many Guns songs,
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, how many did you play? I don't recall.
Oh, we did It's So Easy.
Yeah, I think that was... Yeah.
And So Fine.
Sure.
Occasionally, and then we would do like the segment that has, Duff singing in the Guns show, like Attitude. We would do
Sure.
New Rose.
Right on.
Technically not Gun songs.
Sure. Right, but
on our last tour,
The Misfits and the Damned.
we did a couple things. We did do a thing where we did Paradise City and one other song, maybe Out to Get. I should know that. I should be a better fan.
You should know what you played. But again, you've played a million gigs. I mean, I don't expect that.
So we did a show with Queensryche. It was there was a police officer. There was a couple police officers that were shot and killed in Tacoma, Washington. We did a benefit show, and Queensryche and us played. And we thought, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we did a couple songs with Jeff Tate, because he can sing high.
Sure.
And it was I think it was better in theory than in practice. Queensryche, I think, it's great. Mindcrime and stuff before that, great. But I don't think Jeff had ever heard Guns N' Roses. It was amazing.
Was he just not
in
sync?
It was really weird. It was a very strange experience.
Is there a recording of that at all? Is there because I know it's benefit.
You'll probably find it on YouTube.
All right.
For sure.
All right, I'll have to look that up.
And then what did we did Crazy.
You're Crazy?
Yeah, we did, and I think that's what we did on our last tour. And we'd always have a guest singer.
All right, that's cool.
And yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
This one, I guess, you can tie into both Loaded and GNR, since we're trying to talk about songs that you may or may not remember. This is from Jan from Germany. He would like to know your favorite Loaded and GNR songs. Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite Loaded song? I mean...
It's like Picking Your Children? Is it like that? I don't know if you have kids, but...
I think Sick is a really good... I like that song. I think Sick is the first song that we wrote as a band, like really collaboratively.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of the benchmark of who we are, I think. I don't know if everyone else agrees with me, but there's never been a gig where we'd even have considered cutting that song since before VR.
Okay.
If that gives a point of reference.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, it does.
And Guns? Man. I don't, just pretty much first, like a first place tie for the entire Appetite album.
Okay.
I mean, My Michelle's right up there for me.
All right, I'll take that.
Like, it's dark. It's got this thing. It also like has a lift in the middle of it. The solo is rad.
There's no wrong answer. So
yeah, yeah. I think that's it. I think those are my answers.
Oh, they're acceptable.
Full stop.
This question might be from a friend, and maybe this is from Ken from Massachusetts.
Ken from Massachusetts. Ken, yeah, okay.
He said, ask him about his Bob Seger cover band in high school. The name of it still makes me laugh.
Well, Ken is a friend.
Okay.
And Ken, Ken used to work for. I brought you a gift.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ken used to work.
Your jacket.
Ken used to work at the VA in Seattle.
Okay.
And so that's how I met him. And
he's reaching into his pocket, his jacket pocket.
So to answer Ken's question, Ken, let me tell you who Ken is.
Okay.
Ken used to work at the VA, and I want to say he works in public radio now.
Okay.
But we did Veterans Day halftime show for the Seahawks, and then we went to the VA hospital and spent a day there talking with folks and getting a tour. And
Cool.
it was cool. To answer Ken's question,
Okay.
I love Bob Seger.
I mean, I do.
I saw Bob Seger when I was a kid with my mom. I really want to see him.
It's his last tour?
I heard he's going to play the Garden.
Wow, that's going to sell out. You know that.
Yeah, if you can play the Garden, you're going to sell out the Garden, probably, right?
You got the hookup, though, right?
You gave me like this knowing look, like I know, like I know Jimmy Garden or something.
Yeah. Jimmy Garden.
Yeah.
You and James Dolan are BFFs.
Sorry, it's a Vinny Garden. Everyone in my neighborhood's named Vinny.
Vinny.
So I had a Bob Seger cover band called the Silver Bullshit Band, and it was
Okay.
who was in the Silver Bullshit Band? Andrew McKagan and Jason Finn from the Presidents of the United States of America.
Really?
Yeah, and
You went to high school with him?
no,
Oh,
we
because
were.
it says it was a high school.
It wasn't a high school band. You know what?
It says a Bob Seger cover band in high school.
I think he confused. My high school band was called the Finkelstein Shit Band.
Wait, so I mentioned before Finkelstein. Like, why Finkelstein?
Well, that's a quote from Cheech and Chong.
Oh, I haven't seen Up in Smoke.
You get a job by sundown, or I'm shipping you off to military school like that goddamn Finkelstein shit kid.
You're handing me two
2 picks.
and one is Guns N' Roses. That is Duff's. Wow, thank you. And you were giving me your pick, Loaded. Wow, thank you so much.
I thought that so we had.
Thank you so much for
The
this.
reason I thought of those
these.
picks at that moment was because for the Seahawks show we had some special Seahawks pick made. You know,
Right on.
And but that's not what I had in my pocket at all.
No, this is. I mean, you gave me Duff's pick and your pick. I mean, this is. I mean, I don't play guitar, but this is going in my my baseball card collection. You know, where everything is safe and all that fun stuff.
When I was in junior high school, I caught a Gene Simmons pick
Okay.
at
Did he charge you?
double.
Do you know? Speaking of, if you want to make this point, you know, I know it's not Guns N' Roses. News. Gene Simmons is now the CEO or spokesman of this Canadian legal cannabis company, and he doesn't do drugs at all, and has given shit to people who do drugs.
Right.
So it's clearly just about the money. So I don't know. So that's Gene Simmons. Sorry, I just made me think about that. So that's a news thing that he's now a spokesperson for, medical marijuana, which I support. You know, can help a lot of people in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis and all that. Doesn't have to be like all Cheech and Chong stuff. But this is somebody like with Prince. Said some really bad stuff about Prince after he died.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
We'll see. I mean,
here's how I feel about all that. I know that he can't be a completely terrible person.
I don't think he is, because I will talk. Brett Fitz is going to be a future guest, and I know he's right now on tour with Gene. And
Really?
yeah.
Doing what?
He's in Gene's band.
Gene has a solo band?
He's been on doing like gigs. I think he's doing like a gig with like Vinnie Vincent. They're doing some gigs too.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. Gene is like making amends, with certain people. So
See, so that I mean,
that's not
I
Guns N'
don't
Roses
know.
news, but that's still news. But right, he says that, and I look at it
think
like
some people, we all need money to a certain degree to get through life. Some of us love it a little more than others. And, I try to not fault people for that because I don't know what motivates them. I know,
right. I do understand, and I do admit when I'm like, I don't know the whole story, but I can't help. This is my initial reaction to it, and once we have a conversation, I can have a healthy, be like, you know what, I don't know him. I never met him. I don't know his real reasons. I only know his public persona. I said the same thing about Axl. Everyone thought Axl was a dick, and I was defending. So, I mean, yes, but it's fucking weird.
Here's story time.
Yeah.
So, we were managed. Loaded. When I say we, Loaded was managed by Doc McGee's office by Snake.
Oh, Snake Sabo?
Snake was our manager.
So, you got to talk to him. I've had 2 back and forth emails with him, and he's like, yes, I want to be in the show.
Sweet man.
And now I've heard nothing but wonderful things about him. And I
love him.
I know email is crazy, and I know his schedule is crazy, but if you can just nudge him like, hey, you know what, that guy Brando you were emailing back, you said you would be, he said yes, I could show you the emails. He said yes twice, but I haven't heard back. Sorry.
Let's talk shit about him and then send him a link to this.
I don't want to talk shit about him.
Yeah, I'm joking.
No.
So,
I'm just eager. I want to talk to him.
When Kiss was touring through a few years ago, I got the full meal deal to go see the show, got the pass, got the watch the acoustic show before the rock show backstage and get your picture taken with them and all that stuff. Okay? So that was awesome because as a kid, loved Kiss. Still love Kiss, but as a kid, that was a real easy and obvious. So probably that was my first rock band connection, Kiss, before AC/DC.
Sure.
Because there was a whole theatrical draw in kids. And they had the fucking Kiss Army, and there was just stuff. You could get stuff.
And I don't have that emotional attachment because I'm younger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I grew up,
I could never afford any of the stuff. I made my own Kiss Army shit out of
That's real rock and roll.
popsicle sticks, and I'd draw on them and stuff,
Okay.
We played with dirt where I'm from. That was our toy.
The good old days, man.
So I take my friend who's a podcaster. I take my friend John Roderick with. I have the Gene book. This is the tie-in. Duff gave me Gene's book for my birthday years ago.
Okay.
And I knew that Paul had a book, so on the way to the show, I stopped and bought it. They play an acoustic show, and I brought both. So I brought both the books to get signed. So that's cool. I have those books signed. That stokes me out. My inner child is super geeked by that. We show up, watch the acoustic show, and it's awesome. Now, you might be, or anyone else that's listening might be saying, well, yeah, no shit. Kiss is pretty good. They've been doing it a long time. Well, I didn't know. When I listen to old Kiss records, they don't sound very good. Sorry. It's just not very fucking good.
Like the quality or just the playing itself?
Kind of both.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that I don't love it. I love it.
No, of course. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
But
I listen, for me, the first few Green Day records,
it's different. It's a different category of good.
Yeah.
So, they play, and it's awesome. So they come through, we're in like a corral, and they come around the corral so that they can regulate their own speed at which they spend time with someone. They don't have to push someone along in a line, right? Mm-hmm. So Paul comes by first, and he says, hey, how's it going? And I said, that was awesome. And he said, well, you sound surprised. And I said, well, I kind of was. And he said, well, we've been doing it for a while, You
kind of sound like when you're doing a good impression.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
And I felt a little silly, like, oh, right. They've been doing this since almost as long as I've been alive.
Sure.
They should be good. I don't know why I was surprised by how good it was, but I was. And so I have Paul's book under Gene's book, and I hand Gene, I'm holding the book like this, and I said to Gene, hey, Gene, my name's Mike Squires, and this book was actually a gift from our mutual friend, Duff McKagan. He gave this to me for my birthday, and he just said, well, better than nothing.
What? What does that? I don't even know what to make of that. What does that even mean?
It was
because you didn't buy it. Maybe was he upset that you didn't spend money on it, or I don't think that was a shot at Duff at all.
No, better. Maybe it was better than not getting a gift at all.
Yeah, right.
And
maybe
I just sat there like,
that's just so funny.
Wow, what an awkward interaction. And then I think it registered in his mind like, oh, I know Duff, Then he went to sign the book underneath and realized that it was Paul's book.
Okay.
And he kind of shot me this look like... and
I mean,
and he looks at it and he kind of gives me one of the eyebrow look.
The Gene look.
And then he said, and this was the thing that stuck with me that bothered me. But then again, like I said, I try to not judge anyone because I don't know what led them to the moment that we are interacting.
Yes, I
so,
agree.
And
yes.
so Gene looks at the book and he looks at me and he said, somewhere between these two books is the truth of the story.
Sure.
He said, but those other guys, they have these books. They're full of garbage. And
I don't know if that was Gene or Trump right there.
And I couldn't believe that I'm nobody. Mm-hmm. But he took that moment
to clarify,
to dismantle those guys to me. And it's like, man, you don't have to waste your time doing that, buddy.
No, I understand that too.
You don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm. See, I mean, I hear these kind of stories, and I just don't think it makes anyone a bad person. I just think it's weird, or it's just like it's not appropriate, or time and place. There's a lot of.
But again, I don't know.
Variables.
I don't know what kind of dynamic existed between. Like
Absolutely.
maybe those guys said terrible stuff to him
About his mom, or
who knows?
You're absolutely
right. We don't know.
Yeah, no, with me, and to bring it to again to a serious point where we were before, because dealing with depression and with me, there's so many variables in life that you just never know.
Yeah.
But it's just, damn it, I wish he has such a platform. When you say things that may be off color,
right,
about mental health, it's like, come on, man, use your platform better.
But you said that he's doing some shows with Vinnie Vincent. That's amazing.
That is amazing. I know.
I saw an interview with Vinnie recently.
He's changed. I don't know. There's no confirmation.
No official word out there on Vinnie, but
he looks like he's transitioning. But I don't know if that's a thing or not. And I don't. You're a good person. I don't care. But it looks like he's transitioning. That was the rumor for years too.
Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he. It's not like he's ever.
Been a good look.
He's never been like a macho. Hey, what are you in, Man-O-War?
Yeah. Yeah, he never came off like, he was never like a manly man.
Right, not like super macho guy.
Yeah, he's not like, you, Dan Connor here with your... But no, it did look like that. I'm glad some of the fans... Because at first, the way fans are, we talk about that, how fans get judged, how you look, going back to hair and everything.
People are brutal.
But I think overall, I was proud to see a lot of fans just saying, hey, I'm glad to see him out. Because he was gone for a while. He seems happy place. To me, that's all that matters. Are you happy? You're not hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else. Are you happy?
Yeah.
So it seems like he and Gene have sort of...
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I still even though I'm younger and I didn't grow up with Kiss like that, I am a fan of Kiss. It's just with mental health being important to me, comments like that have upset me. And I've always made the joke, like, it always reminded me of Krusty the Clown, where they could sell everything, It's just like Kiss is kind of like the Krusty the Clown of rock.
Right.
We have the Kiss brand Band-Aids. And,
they have everything. But it's always been like that.
Yeah, but then again, because I'm Jewish, so I guess I understand. Like, we sell. I'm just terrible with money, so I'm a bad Jew. So I guess that all ties into. That's fucking amazing.
But I'm glad to hear that those guys are making amends because even if you think it could never be, probably a lot of people thought GNR could never reunite. And look at them; they're getting along great. Things are going swimmingly.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, and I guess to bookend it with the Adler's Appetite, because I'm sure you have a long Sunday ahead of you, and I appreciate you coming down in the studio. I mean, you could have just called me on the toilet if you wanted to.
Next time, now that we're comfortable,
we'll do maybe because we were talking off the air, like maybe you want to do a podcast or whatever. Maybe we'll do a podcast while on the toilet.
Toilet cast, and
it could be after the toilet. Someone's gonna steal that idea.
Is there a? Certainly, there's the John cast.
It could be like Taxi Cab Confessions, but just on the shitter.
Where I only talk to people on the toilet. The basic idea that I have is that I want to have guests. I want to be able to make them coffee because I'm pretty good at it.
Okay.
and just get them real high on coffee.
Okay.
And then talk and maybe give people an option. We will only speak on, 1, 2, 3 subjects.
Okay.
You have to choose one, and then that's what the entire podcast will be about, the episode.
And
so maybe it'll be a movie. We'll have to, or an album, or a political subject, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe keep it light. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe it'll be an opera.
An opera.
Probably not an opera.
Well, if you want, your first, because have you ever hosted a show? I mean, how much radio have you done up until now?
I've only done promotional stuff for the band.
I tried looking. I mean, there was when I was Googling you, and no P tapes come up, no sex tapes, but there were some print interviews. You, because you're a guitar teacher, you teaching. There was one, but I think it was so long ago the link didn't even work anymore. It's like Duff and Squires interviewed on this whatever, and I just clicked and the video wasn't even there. I just wanted to hear what you sounded like before I got this,
right.
So I just watched your guitar. I mean,
you want to make sure I didn't sound like Horseshack.
I was watching Welcome Back, Connor this morning. Ooh. Oh God.
Me and Duff did a thing here in the city for a competitor's network.
I appreciate that.
And
you saying it like that.
Who was the other guest in that day that I met and I thought he was a dick? I'm having a brain fart right now. Super famous comedian just got busted for wanking in front of people.
Oh, so Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a dick to you?
He was real funny.
Sure.
And dry. And he seemed well informed. But like many people who, again, I try to not judge people too much because I'm not Duff, but if I'm with Duff and I meet someone, there are some people that will
treat you like you're less?
Not approach me as a
equal?
Hired help.
Oh.
There are some people that won't treat me like hired help. And then there are some people that just sort of perceive you as, different.
What, what's this guy who's all tattooed or whatever?
Oh, I don't think that bothered. Maybe it does. I don't again, I don't know him.
I'm using that as a flippant example, but if you seem different, and it's different if you're Duff because you know who that is.
Well, there are definitely people who, if you're Duff and you're Mike Squires, and you meet someone that neither of you know, clearly and obviously, Duff McKagan is a more interesting person to talk to in that moment.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you treat it.
Duh. If I met Angus Young and, Jimmy Garden on the same day, I'd probably be talking to Angus, probably asking him questions. Hey, this and that. But...
you can tell. I mean, for example, because I mentioned before when I interviewed London Hudson because London plays drums, unlike his dad.
Right.
And Nico, the guitarist. And I knew going into the interview.
Hey, what about this? What if London is the drummer in Adler's Appetite and Steven is the singer?
Wouldn't that be something?
Hey, you know him.
Wouldn't that'd be fucking... That's too outside the box, sir. That's too outside the box.
That's my specialty.
But I went into the interview. I'm like, I can't just ask London and just talk to him the entire time and just ask him a bunch of questions about his dad.
Right.
I want to find out about this kid. And I went back and forth. I usually probably would pose the question first to Nico and then to London, and then had Chris, the manager, jump on the phone too, because it's just respect. So I will say this, whether it, I don't, there's no... I say this half jokingly, but kind of serious. If you ever want to come on, co-host, and interview Duff, I would talk to both of you equally. Or I would talk to you 60-40, just so he would feel comfortable, that I'm not a creep kind of thing. So I mean, it is different, but I get what you're saying, and that's unfortunate because I've met unfortunately a lot of celebrities working in radio, and I haven't met too many jerks.
Right.
But I mean, when you're they're here to do an interview. They're not here to take pictures or shake hands or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. You can. It's difficult when you meet someone you admire and then you're treated like that. And it wasn't like you were just someone off the street and just like, hey man, or you weren't bothering him while he was eating.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like that.
Hey, can I get a picture?
Yeah.
Hey, will you sign my restaurant napkin?
I did that to somebody once. I did that to. It was when I was a kid though.
Right.
This will be totally random. Jason Williams, who was he used to play for the New Jersey Nets, and he was the one that was charged with manslaughter by accidentally shooting his limo driver.
Oof.
So this was obviously well before that. I met him. I saw him. It was on a class trip in Cat's Deli, which the famous Cat's Deli, which is now shut down.
What?
I think Cat's Deli is done.
No, I just drove by there the other day, and I said to my wife,
"Are they renovating it then?" Because I thought it was, or maybe closing next year. Unless I'm completely making it up, I thought it wasn't. That something's going on. That it's whatever. I have
the
Google.
amazing. Like me and my wife just drove by, and I said, "God, look at that! How long do you think that can last?" This happened last weekend. How long do you think that can last? It's the only single-story building for blocks. Because there's nothing above it. But it was still open. It was last weekend.
I think it went into new ownership. Okay.
Oh, really?
It's the owner of New York's iconic Cat's Deli. Right, so there's another one.
Good sandwiches. A lot of meat.
Good pickles.
A lot of meat.
No,
I'm trying to not eat.
So
as much
I
meat.
had him because I was in school. Oh, but my friend
Williams.
Jason Williams. But
you were at Katz's and you were like, "Hey, sign."
I had nothing to sign, but it's even better because he signed my napkin and he was really nice about it, and because there was a bunch of kids and I was the first one to go.
You don't have him sign your Katz's number card. That would be a mistake.
He signed.
You got to turn that over.
He signed my friend's salami sandwich.
That's gross.
Right. Well, the wrapping, like it wasn't, there's the breading, but it was like wrapped.
There's got to be a punchline in there, right?
I'm sure. Insert punchline there.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't a pedophile, so it wasn't that kind of salami sandwich. But yeah. So I mean, if it wasn't like that, but that's, I don't know. Comedians are weird. They're a different breed. As far as, oh my God, there was every comedian.
I think funny people are typically they're also the saddest people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I don't know.
Well, I am interviewing, might be this Friday, Jim Florentine.
Uh-huh.
He might be coming on. And I did interview Don Jameson, a great comedian, both from that metal show.
Yeah.
So
we've met those guys. Duff has been on that show, and then those guys have come out
to
our shows. Yeah.
I think they were all like on that show. Even Axl and DJ Ashbro was even on that show.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm not going to ask you we took one picture before the show. I wanted to put it up there, but I'll ask you for another one after. But I mean, this was awesome. Just to have
We're already done. I'm just getting started.
I mean, we're talking for almost 2 hours.
Really?
Almost. It's like over an hour and a half.
We haven't even said anything, have we?
Well, what am I missing? What's anything juicy that we can that's missing? Because we talked about how you got into Loaded, right? If there's a potential future for Loaded. I know you and Duff talked to each other on the toilet, which is pretty great. Your new band,
Oh yeah, I'm not really in a band, but I've been working on a record for a long time.
The Union Gospel,
it's
right?
done. Yeah, the record's done. It is mixed, sequenced, and mastered. We just have to press vinyl.
Okay.
I call it. It's pretty. I wrote all the songs co-wrote all the songs with this gal, Deja Colantuono, that I've known for a very long time. She's from here, but I know her from Seattle because she lived there. Her mom's a well-known jazz singer, and she taught at a music school out there for a while.
Okay.
So Deja moved there when she was pretty young, but she lives here now. We have these sort of, they're not rock songs in the context of rock music that I've played with Duff, but they're more like classic voiced. But the funny thing is, like, now Nirvana is classic rock.
Yeah.
So,
What is classic even
where
mean?
I come from, classic rock is CCR and
Yeah.
I guess even the Cars.
Yeah. I mean, I was at a station up in Poughkeepsie that the program director fought to have the Cars on there because people consider them like new wave or, I mean,
Right.
it's so, the whole rock genre is like all,
Yeah,
so one giant watercolor stain.
what I call it is
We coughed at the same time. What is that about?
I call it music for 50-year-old hipsters to fuck to.
Okay.
It's like, it's a lot of mid-tempos, like,
But I think hipster is it's not like Portugal the Man or anything like that.
No. Because a 50-year-old hipster doesn't know what Portugal the Man is.
Right. So I'm trying to think 50-year-old hipster. I'm not a 50-year-old.
But Portugal the Man just won a Grammy.
Yeah. Yeah, but Grammys, what the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know,
Jethro
but
Tull beat. I mean, they still get everything wrong. I just read something that where Mastodon is still upset that they lost the Grammy over to Tenacious D. I love Tenacious D, but how do you win a metal Grammy when you're Tenacious D? And it was for, I think, a Dio cover. So it was a cover. It wasn't even like a real.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, and again, I love Tenacious D, but the Grammys are just fucking weird, man. I can't. I don't watch it. It's not a place to go for rock anymore at all.
I don't like the Grammy. Any organization. Like, I've never been good with groups or organizations or anything like that. I'm also sober, and I can't even
Me too.
I can't even do AA. I just sort of power through it, and
I've gone.
The book, good stuff to read in there, but then
Never read the book. My therapist made me go.
people, like any other book, people will pick and choose and hyper focus on certain things
Yes.
and then mutate it and turn it into all kinds of things. Anyway, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this kind of thing, it's kind of cool. I was there when here's another story.
You were there when Guns?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Tell us
Loaded, we did a Duff book reading event at the Hard Rock, maybe,
Okay.
or something there in Cleveland.
Okay.
And then the next day was the Hall of Fame induction. So Jeff Rouse and I stuck around, and Jeff teched for Duff, I teched for Gilby.
Okay.
And then Martin Fevier, our loving companion, sound guy and recording engineer, did sound.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
So you were, like, in essence, part of the performance. You
for sure, but this is where it gets funny.
Okay.
And thank God Gilby is so easygoing and cool, because I really did a shit job.
Okay.
But there were also some circumstances. So we sound checked the night before. It was so awesome to be there because Matt and Steven both were there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was there.
Other than Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool, and they jammed and they played songs, and then next day, sound check in the morning, everything went great. And then, the way the shows get chopped up and edited, probably much like this, hopefully like this. Hopefully I've run my mouth so many different ways that...
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. So the way those shows are edited together, it seems like super quick and seamless. And for the most part, a lot of it is. But, there are also some awkward moments in there. And there's there are long pauses.
Yeah,
and,
no, I'll tighten things up, just to make it sound like a
no, I
good
mean
broadcast.
at the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Green Day is they do the
Ramones.
introduction.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And at that point, we're all like throwing out the, you can't make sound. It's a quiet stage, but you're throwing out the pedal boards, making sure the guitars are in tune. You're there. God, I played 2 Zemaitis guitars that weekend, which was amazing because these are famed guitars. Gilby's got one, and then Jeff Wood. Ronnie Wood is there, and he's got his because the faces were, and I played them both. Weird guitars. I don't even like them. Beautiful. But so put the pedal boards out, tune it up, everything's good. Go back. They're finishing up their speeches. Of course, Gilby's not giving a speech, right? Mm-hmm. I hit the standby on his amp, and it blows up. And it was like I think it was like a 70s Marshall JMP. It was a beautiful sounding amp, great. We had it all dialed in. It sounded so good, we didn't bother dialing in the backup. We didn't bother. We were just like, whatever.
Backup, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Who cares? This thing's great. So I'm scrambling. And so if you go back and watch, you can see as they go to start playing, Gilby's back at the amp like finger fucking the dials. And that's because the amp blew up. So then Gilby went to go play, and the output on his his tube screamer was turned all the way down. So when they went to start playing, no sound came out. I just...
At least it wasn't as bad as Metallica at the Grammys with the Lady Gaga.
He was really nice about it.
Nice about it. He could have... Yeah.
I mean, if it would have been me that would have happened, I would have been fucking pissed.
How did you feel? Were you embarrassed? Did you laugh it off? Were you sweating bullets?
How do you feel in a situation? It's not like... we were doing those guys, we weren't being paid or anything. We were just there. I was stoked because the Beastie Boys were being inducted also, and Chuck D was there. Yeah, I mean that. By the way, that's the single greatest regret of my life. I had an opportunity to meet Chuck D and didn't.
Next time, you never know.
Next time.
I really. It'll be a Loaded and Prophets of Rage dual headlining tour.
That would be awesome.
You never know.
But yeah, I really screwed Gilby over. Sorry, Gilby.
I'm sure he forgives you wherever he is.
The funny thing is a year later, he called me up out of the blue and said, hey, I'm playing a show, and it happened to be on my birthday. I'm playing a show. Would you guitar tech for the show? I was like... Really?
Do you want me to mess you up again?
I don't know if you remember, but I kind of screwed you over. He's like,
that's great.
Oh, Oh, it'll be fine. Well, you probably won't even have to hand me another. I just play one guitar, but just in case.
Okay.
I mean, I went and did the gig with him. I didn't actually do anything. I just kind of hung out.
Right on. I like that. So I'm glad I got that story out of you. I'm sure that's too funny. So Squires, excuse me. I was getting a little too formal. Squires, this has been an absolute pleasure. The invitation's always open to come back if you want to just to talk, to update us on what's going on with the Union Gospel. If there's anything, of course, that was loaded, obviously. If you want to be my guest co-host, you can go to the other chair and we could talk to somebody, whether it's Duff or Gilby or someone that's, local. It doesn't matter, just because you're, you seem like a fun radio guy that has more stories to tell. The invitation's always open. And we have to talk anyway because you might be making a new theme song for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
Yeah, you're okay. So it's okay that I said that.
Yeah.
Okay, because if people have been listening, I've been butchering the beginning, and because I had to change it because my co-host had left, and then I've just been lazy trying to get my voiceover friend to come in and redo it. So I just want to, I don't know, like at that 70s show, like how Cheap Trick was to that 70s show, I would like Squires be to the A of D show.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty rad.
So, what vibe do you want?
I want you, whatever you vibe you feel from this conversation. I mean, I don't know if I don't want you to make any Balt references in the.
So, there'll be instrumental. I'm writing a theme song for Jeff Rouse also.
Okay, because the only reason I got this idea because you posted it on your Facebook and it's pretty funny. Yeah. It's hilarious. Oh, and I should ask if fans to keep up with you and contact, the best is other than my Twitter handle, Brando, yours is amazing.
Do you know I love Belle Biv DeVoe?
Who doesn't? That girl's Poison.
I recorded a cover of that song.
I would love to hear that.
It's sensitive. It's a sensitive cover.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
I mean, it's not amazing, but it's amazingly ridiculous.
But your Twitter is at insert fart noise.
Right.
I can't believe that wasn't taken, so that's brilliant. So is that the best way for fans to keep in contact with you?
I can't believe it wasn't taken.
I know.
So insert fart noise was my number one. Like anytime that I wanted to make a comment on something where I just wish that I could be in the room during you see those people commenting in message boards or whatever, and I would just type parentheses insert fart noise where you just kind of wish you could be in the room and just be like just loud enough for everyone to hear, but not too loud.
Just right.
Yeah.
The Goldilocks fart.
Exactly. Exactly. And so that's how I ended up with that name. I probably would have changed it by now, except that I'm verified.
Yeah. And you don't want to change that.
The hilarious, and I don't even know
how it happened.
I don't know how it happened or why it happened or what it means necessarily.
It means like you are who you say you are. And I think it also means you're important. I guess. I don't have a check.
But here's the thing. I was verified whatever when I had about 150 followers, which is hilarious to me. And
I have over 1,000. Come on.
And a radio friend of mine actually commented on that, like, ha, 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 you're verified. And I didn't know that I was verified or what it meant. And that's when I found out about it. That was...
I'm jealous.
10 years ago.
Jeez, you've been verified Twitter, I don't know what the word is.
Or 9 years ago.
Yeah. You are important, Squires. Look at you.
So important.
Louis C.K., if he would have treated you better if he knew you were Twitter verified.
Or maybe he would have masturbated and told me. That'd be a real story to tell.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Brando, like a lot of my conversations that I end on the phone.
Yes.
I would like to end like this.
That's how I do too. Awkward. Inappropriate.
I'm really busy and very important. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
I'm really busy. I gotta go.
I got you, Squires. This has been awesome. You are always welcome back. I can't wait to hear what you come up with for a theme song.
You know, if you're having a disagreement with someone while just call me, and I'll settle it.
Like what? You'll just call and make a fart noise?
No, I'll just I can be like a life coach / mediator on subjects on your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. You have
a voice of unreason.
Your hair is too good. Like you are welcome just for your hair and all of that. As you're saying that, I'm still like staring at it. I'm upset.
How my hair?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You're always welcome back, even though I'm jealous.
Of my hair?
Yeah. No, I've given up though.
Dude.
No, honestly, girls like bald heads. I wish I knew. So if it's not real, you should shave it.
Yeah. That's true.
But if you do have a beautiful head of hair like yours, don't shave it. But if you're losing it, just shave it. Like
I will just
like Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels, it needs to stop.
Yeah, he doesn't have hair under there, huh?
No, it's a weave. And even when he had that I shouldn't laugh because he was seriously hurt. But there was a piece of the stage that like hit him. It was like a couple years ago, and then you see a picture of him in the hospital room with the bandana. I'm like, come on, man.
Really, in the hospital?
Yeah, he was in the hospital room, and he's had the bandana on. Like,
he saw someone bust out the phone, and he was like, hold on.
Maybe. So.
Oof.
So as we deal, of course, with the Gino world, a lot of the hair metal bands no longer have hair. Just come on, like be like me. It took me a long time to accept it.
Vanity is a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
People put a lot of value in how they look.
Which is why I'm focusing less on that and more on mental health and therapy and all that fun stuff, and Guns N' Roses and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's the deal.
It's funny. I always looked at everything full circle. I identified, of course, with Axl's anger, but I always saw like Duff. I'm like, he just seems like such a positive person, and such a good person. And I identified because he had his struggles, but where he is now, where he seems to be now, I'm like, he seems like someone you really should look up to who's really a role model. That's how I look at him. He's a role model.
He really is, and it's. I think he's an amazing human.
The way he talks about his family, getting involved, how healthy he is, and his life has completely changed.
For sure.
In a great way.
He doesn't cuss at home in front of his daughter.
Well, that's fine.
You know? I was thinking about that the other day because I got chastised by my father-in-law for using cuss words on social media.
On social media?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, my dad did get mad at me for that once, but...
And I understand what he's saying, but I just don't care enough.
Well, what was the word you used? Do you say "see you next Tuesday" or was it just "fuck"?
Oh, I don't know.
All right. Well, we don't need to.
I don't know. I don't even know.
Well, but
I understand. You know, it's not that I don't understand what he's saying. There was one other person, older, and this guy was older as well. It's not that I don't understand what those guys are saying. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent.
You can
edit that out.
We've already done that. I would edit this entire show out if it wasn't a tangent.
Duff is amazing and probably one of the more inspiring people I've ever known in my life, for sure. That's cool. Because growing up, you know, before I met him, the last thing in my mind, you know, the way I always remembered him was on the American Music Awards. Blasted up on TV, cussing. Mm-hmm. And so that was sort of how I imagined who he was. There was no internet. There was no, you know, there was MTV, but there was, you know, even when, I think that there maybe was a Cribs thing, or maybe that he was on, anyway, he was just always kind of drunk and lighthearted and a little bit goofy.
Right.
You know, then I met him and started playing with him. He's such an at ease guy that 99% of the time you forget, oh, this guy's that guy from the Guns N' Roses band, because you're just hanging out and having a good time, having some laughs, talking about important stuff, not important stuff, dumb stuff, whatever stuff.
See, that's great, because there are so many bands that form that it's just a band and that's a part of it. He could have made that just a part of his life. But now it could have been like just a moment in his life. You know, this band Loaded, or,
right.
You know, could have gotten different guitar players because it's Duff McKagan's Loaded. But you guys became friends through that.
The cool thing about Loaded is Loaded is a band. And we all write songs for the band. Mm-hmm. We operate, you know, fairly democratically. Although, you know, if Duff's got to sing, Duff's got to front the band. So, you know, if he has an opinion about a thing, like, it's usually the final opinion. Although I can't think of a single time where he has disagreed with anyone to the degree where he would absolutely put the kibosh on something.
No, this is my decision. No.
Yeah. He's just not that kind of dude, you know. But there are plenty of bands that are, you know, like a guy goes and makes a record, then he gets a band, and it's like, I think 30 Seconds from Mars is probably kind of like that. You know, probably Dude has his own, I mean, they operate on a different level, but I think Dude probably has his own bus, probably doesn't know his bass player's name. I don't know, maybe he does. I'm speculating.
Yeah, I only know, of course, Jared Leto, and I don't even know the other members' names, so I don't know.
Right.
30 I mean,
did he clone himself and just like?
It's just a bunch of Jared Letos.
Because he's so pretty and talented. If I was Jared Leto, I would just clone myself, and I would have a band of Jareds.
Yeah. That's your next cover band.
We take the subway to the gig. Whoa!
That should be your next cover band.
Band of Jareds.
Yeah.
30 Jareds to Mars. 30 piece. He would have like a horn section and a string section.
And I just got your Jared Fogle reference. I just got it.
Yeah.
Jesus. How did Jared Jewelers not change their name after that?
I don't know. But did Jared get in trouble?
Did the Subway guy?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's a pedophile. He's in jail.
He is?
Yeah, he's a fucking like rapist pedophile.
I just thought about that the other day because I asked a friend of mine, if you were in the White House and you could have any fast food restaurant installed in there,
Okay.
which one would it be? And he said, oh, definitely Taco Time, which is a Northwest thing.
Oh, I don't know Taco Time.
Taco Time's a killer Northwest
Okay.
fast food spot.
I think for me it would either be Popeyes or Nathan's.
And I had to break it down and say, yeah, I think I'd probably go with Chipotle. I know that seems like very now,
You better get a good bathroom.
but I think they do a good job and they have some good vegetarian
They do. I'm just thinking like the South Park. You ever see the South Park episode with
No.
Chipotle away? No. It was Billy Mays, because the now deceased Billy. Remember the ad pitch man, Billy Mays? He always did the laundry detergent or whatever.
Right.
So Cartman was, I don't know, he was like obsessed with Chipotle and Billy Mays. And Billy Mays on it was like selling Chipotle away, which is like Febreze for your bloody underwear after you would shit blood after eating Chipotle. Hey, even South Park makes references. You know, we make South Park references on this show because it all ties in.
But then, who was the guitar player for Guns N' Roses? One of our parents.
It all ties in. It all ties in somehow. Amazing. So I got to take. Thank you for these picks. This is really cool. You know, for these gifts, very cool. And obviously, again, you're always welcome back. But to cap what I said before, so the best ways for fans to keep in contact with you is Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on all the things, Twitter and the Facebook.
I'm always hesitant to say.
Instagram.
Well, I'm always hesitant to say Facebook because usually sometimes you don't have a fan profile. It's just your main one.
You know, for a minute I tried to have two because even my like little taste of creepy fandom that showed up, I just blocked that person.
Sure.
You know.
Right. Because for me, sometimes it's weird when I have a radio, friend or someone who knows me from the radio commenting in the same one as a childhood friend on my same Facebook. Sometimes that could be weird for people.
Right.
So I'd rather at least ask you instead of like, hey, let's just go to Mike Squires' Facebook. Everyone go there and send them farm requests if that's still a thing.
Well, yeah, whatever is fine. I respond to most messages that I get in case unless they're dumb, like, "Hi, how are you?" or it's clearly a Russian bride thing.
Right,
or what,
right.
You know.
Sure.
You can just decline those friend requests.
Sure. Okay. Because you saw even when you shared, our upcoming interview, just a ton of comments and got a ton of shares. That doesn't always happen. You know, my episodes are well received, but
I'm really busy and very important.
I agree with you. So when you're not busy next time, if it's convenient for you to come down here, I would love to hang out with you again. But if you want,
just fucked up, man. I am unemployed right now, and I am never busy. So I'm gonna be here
all the time.
I'm gonna be getting you coffee. I'm gonna be like.
Hey, if you follow the AFD, if there's ever a guest, hey, I'm having this person on, and you're like, you know what, I want to jump on that conversation too. Do it.
I'm gonna take your job, actually.
I don't get paid for this, so take it. Who knows?
Wait, I already have that job.
Who knows? Maybe this will be the Appetite for Distortion with Brando and Squires. You never know.
Hey.
I have a better chance of getting sponsors with you, so I'm using you.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, guess again, I use curse words on social media.
So do I. It's fine. It's fine. So if there's unless you have any parting words, this will wrap up episode 52.
I got nothing for you, man.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, this has been an absolute pleasure. So as far as the next episode is concerned of the AFD show, we have plenty of guests due lined up. We're going to speak to Jack and Lou, GNR's first photographer, went to Fairfax High School with all of them. We're going to speak to Tommy Hollinston, who is a very famous painter who Slash is a client, Elton John is a client, and he paints with his wheelchair tires.
Oh, wow.
Again, we're supposed to follow up with Roberta Freeman. I got in contact with Eric Valentine. So, there's a lot of people I'm still supposed to, I can't do this. I can't book too far in advance because it gets too crazy. Because I only try maybe once a week I can do these.
Yeah.
If I ever get paid for it, I can be able to do more. But if you ever see me on my regular Facebook or in the AFD, it's like, you know what? I want to join in on that conversation. Invitation's always open.
Probably just going to be a fart or a dick joke.
That's fine by me.
Kind of my forte.
That's fine by me. And I guess we'll,
That's pretty radical.
It's pretty radical. So that is it for the episode 52 of the AFD show. So when will you see the next episode? Well, in the words of Axl Rose concerning Chinese democracy, I don't know if as soon as the word, but you'll see it.
You've been listening to the distorted minds of Appetite for Distortion. Follow the guys on Twitter at the AFD Show and on Facebook at facebook.com/the AFD Show.
To the lame ass security, I'm going home.